run the program, you start first just on the desktop. You double click on the icon. It brings up this page, and you choose Select Protocol, which is all the way at the end. And you have two options, either Clarity Protocol on this one, just the top one, or else Help. So we just click that in. And this brings us to what's called the impedance page. And again, impedance is another word for resistance. It's how much is in the way, is obstructing between a current and the sensor. So you want as little resistance as possible. You get the best connection. And this measures at 4 of the sites what the impedance is. So it's at 30 kilo ohms, 29, 53, and 43. So it goes approximately 1 to 25 is green, 25 to around 50 is yellow, which is what are these, and you want the both to have that. And this one is just barely over that. So, but actually it's plenty good. That connection is actually plenty good. And what no one will tell you is that probably all the way up to about 250 kilo ohms is adequate. So if you have trouble getting a low enough impedance, don't worry about it as long as you're below that 250. I'll tell you another way to look at that in another minute. Also, our system is 2-channel. So there's an A channel and a B channel. In reality, you only need 1 channel. I used just 1 channel for the first few years before I started 2-channel, and I got exactly the same results. So, for example, if you have trouble getting a good, adequate impedance over here or here, that's all right. This, because you have the ground, which is not on here, and this is 1 channel. That's good. That's adequate. That's all you need. This is called the 1020 system, and it's just one way. It refers to standard areas that people put sensors. There's no special magic to those sites. It's just so that one researcher or one clinician can point out to another one, relay to another one, the specific site. We only use a few, and we only use ones that aren't in the hair simply because it's much easier. And we can talk later about why the location doesn't matter that much. So this is fine. Now we go to Select Protocol. And these are the protocols. There's 4 plus 1 that's manual. And the protocols have to do with the pulse rate. It has to do with the offset of the signal going back. It has to do with the actual shape of the pulses. And those are the primary variables. It's pulsed each time it goes up and then down. And in each one, there's a loop after it's the baseline is taken. That's a measure of how long it's actually on. The person is getting that treatment. So there's 20 seconds, there's 30 seconds, there's 40 seconds, and there's 50 seconds. Here the pattern, by the way, is it's taking stepwise, going up from a low offset up to a higher offset, and then it drops down and does the next pulse. So you can learn more about these later, but I just want to show you how the software works, basically. Okay, so we're going to choose number 1, which is we call sensitive. Okay, this is artifact. That's not the real tracing yet. Now we have the real tracing. And you can see that it's an adequate, good tracing. First of all, I call it, it looks organic. It's not like what you first saw, which is straight up and down. It looks like it could come from some living entity. So I call it organic looking. And right now, it's not sending the microcurrent. I have to press down on this gray bar here, and that starts it. So this is the right side, A. This is B, the left side. Below are the measures of time intervals, and that's how we keep track of time intervals or cycles or stims, however we decide to call it. This part that's blue is the baseline to get a measurement that is useful more for standard neurofeedback than not for us. Now, why this one is sensitive is because it stops after 7 seconds, 5 to 7 seconds in the beginning, instead of 20 or 30 seconds. And so in case someone is very sensitive, I don't overstimulate them so easily. I'll just give 5 or 7 seconds and wait for a little bit and then do it again. So it does it up to 4 times. And then when it cycles normally, it's only 20 seconds instead of 30 seconds anyway. So to be honest, I start everyone on the #1 sensitive, regardless of what I get from their history or questions about sensitivity, reactivity. See, as on the gray bar, I have to tip again. So you are getting something now. Tell me if you notice.
Yeah, I do.
You might be getting more tired again.
Can't talk as much.
Okay, so we did the 4 short ones, and now it'll be a regular cycle. Can you wiggle the ones I told you about? Yeah. You can see how distorted the signal is. That's not organic looking. This is really, many more cycles per second in real. This is just artifact. So that's one version of what artifact might look like. Now pull that sensor off. Give it a second. See? That's not organic looking. It's just straight up and down. Nature doesn't do that. It's what we call artifact. Okay, why don't you put it back on? And then turn off the one, pull off.
Does it matter which way?
Just whichever one goes. It's the side of the paste. It should be against the skin.
Okay.
Okay, see, just moving it causes artifact. And pull off the one right in front of the ear. Yeah. Okay. See, this one is the ground, and it affects all of the sensors. So here it's more obvious, but this is not. It's a little bit more organic looking. But this is way I know that a sensor is off if I start to get this distorted pattern. Okay. There's a lot here that we're not going over. A lot of it has to do with standard neurofeedback, which this is also capable of doing and not particularly relevant for us right now. And I think you have a sense of how to basically use this, and we'll do it a number of times till you can do it in your sleep. Okay, so to get out of it, we exit. And then it takes, exit is 2 steps. So you exit here too. And we go fully out, we go fully outside of the application each and every time. And so this says save session data. which I personally don't in general, others do, but the data is more technical information that is not directly relevant to direct neurofeedback. So I put discard, I go here, and we're back to the desktop again. About to log out to the program, and here we are, ready for someone else's next session.